He was the most just. Yet, there were betrayers, traitors, amongst those ones who accepted him in his lifetime. After his lifetime, majority of the Bedouin Arabs, especially, they left Islam. They betrayed him. Not only that, they betrayed him, they were getting together, all together, to attack Medina and Mecca and to finish the Muslims. Majority of them, we're talking so many. How many rebellions there were in the time of Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq? How many rebellions? His whole term, there were so many rebellions. He was fighting against those ones who dare to change Islam. Are you understanding this? Who dare to change Islam? There was one group who say, we accept everything, but we don't accept zakat. We're not going to give. There's some who say, we accept everything, but we don't accept you. You understand? They're saying shahadat. If this thing happened today, majority of the scholars today going to make fatwa to say Abu Bakr Siddiq came out from Islam because he is fighting and he's not making unity and love. You have to love, you have to accept, you know. You see how it is. Scholars of Akhir Zaman, they can make fatwa. Some scholars going on, thousands following, saying tattoo, it's okay. Saying, doing all sorts of wrong things and wrong lifestyle is okay. So Allah is just. Allah is merciful. He doesn't judge. Why are you judging? But that happened at that time. Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq. During the time Hazrat Umar, he did, but they didn't dare because he was much stronger. During the time of Hazrat Osman, it was spreading now, everywhere. They didn't just stay with the domestic issues, you understand? They went out. Islam was now spreading, bringing down the superpowers. You understand? Superpowers. In the Prophet's lifetime, he already said this is going to happen. Nobody believed him. Superpowers don't believe him. He had nothing. A few years after he passed, suddenly the superpowers, they fell. Overnight. And because it was spreading so fast, now the enemy is saying, we cannot now stop them from the outside. We have to stop them from the inside. We have to make a fitna. So, because people have differences. Of course we are different. Your 5 fingers, they are different. They cannot be the same. If they are the same, you cannot function. We have differences. Now they say we have to make them, these differences, for them to split up. Instead of differences to learn from each other, for them to break up. So they start supporting those kinds of differences, and that fitna continues up till Judgment Day is going to continue. No one is going to finish all these differences. Don't think any conference or any government board or any summit is going to. No, all this fitna is going to only finish when Hazrat Mahdi alayhi salam comes. He's going to finish all these differences. So, you're saying during the time of the Ottomans, they were just, people rebelling, and why they were rebelling? If they were just, I'm saying just is not a guarantee that people are going to be obeying you. Is Allah just? Yet majority of mankind don't obey Allah. You understand? Majority of mankind, they don't obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you look at some of his Ulul Azam prophets, say Hazrat Isa Ruhullah, How many people were following him? He's one of the biggest prophets, one of the most loved, one of the highest prophets. How many people followed him? 12. 12. You understand? Majority, they're not following. Majority, they're not obeying. Majority, they're in disobedience. So, you cannot judge the justice of someone according to whether the people are going to be pleased or not. That is looking at it from a democratic point of view. You please the majority, then you're okay. What is the majority going to believe in? In fact, in all of history, when you look at the history of the prophets, the majority, they believed in the wrong thing. Correct? The prophets, they came, they were a minority. And that minority did not become the majority so many times. It didn't become the majority. If you look at the Holy Prophet ﷺ, yes, he's the greatest prophet. Yes, he has the most followers. Yes. But look, did the majority become Muslim in the time of the Prophet ﷺ? Speak openly. Did they? No, majority of mankind. Okay, maybe that was 1400 years ago. Today, is the majority Muslim? You see? Cannot go by the majority. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator of the one of the minority of the majority. So, pleasing Allah, definitely, majority are not going to be pleased with you. That we know. If you think that in pleasing Allah, majority they're going to be pleased with you, you're in the wrong place. I don't want to say business. You're in the wrong vocation, calling. You're in the wrong work. We enter into tariqat not because the majority is going to be pleased with us, correct? In fact, we enter into this way. Majority of our friends and our families, they don't like us. They leave us. Those ones saying, I love you, bro, they leave you. Where are they? So, the way of haqq, it is few. But oh, how Allah loves those few. And you know, if you have that love, what else do you need? You don't need nothing else. You don't need nothing else. You definitely don't need the love of fake people. So things happen back then. People, this is the nature of the world. This is our enemy. This is the nature of mankind if they are not understanding who their enemy, especially inside, they are. And at that time, if you don't understand that, forget about betraying your authority or betraying your king. You're going to betray your own father and mother. How many they are betraying themselves? To what? To gain this much. They betray themselves. To win this much. For what? For their ego, for their nafs, for their desires. Which is why in this way, if you understand yourself, you're trying to understand your enemies, then it is easy for you to understand whole nations. Because the principles, it is the same. In the old days, not now. In the old days, they give this tariqat only to those who are going to rule this world. Those who are not going to rule this world, they don't train. They say, not necessary. You're not going to understand. We have those blessings, alhamdulillah, but don't think for a second that we're getting the same training as the people 100 years ago, actually, so 200 years ago or 500 years ago. Nothing. We don't. We are not. That's why Shah Effendi is saying, just hold on tightly. Don't deviate, hold on tightly. But maybe when you hold on tightly a little bit, they make you to understand a little bit, they open sometimes a little bit. Whatever that is there for you to understand and to know, so that you can do something positive with it, not just to know. If we ask why you want to know knowledge, people are, what? What kind of a question is that? Say, why do you want to seek knowledge? What do you mean? I have to seek knowledge. Prophet says to seek knowledge. Yes, but why? Why you want to seek knowledge? If you seek knowledge just to compete and to brag and to show off with one another, then that kind of knowledge, even if it is spiritual knowledge, it is going to be cursed. Because that knowledge is going to be poisonous. There's poison entering there. The spiritual knowledge is real, but there is poison entering there. Because now you are doing it not with the proper right intention. So, knowledge of the self is the most important thing. Nobody can say, knowledge of the self, it is going to destroy me. No one is going to say, knowledge of the self, it is to brag to other people. You know, I know myself, you know yourself. No one ever does that. Because the knowledge of the self, you cannot compete with no one anyway. Because you are yourself, you are yourself, you are yourself. You cannot say, I have more higher station than you. How you know? You know, both of you are completely different. But once you understand the tricks and the traps that your ego puts on you, millions, it changes every time. If you're not aware of this, it's very difficult for you to be aware of history. Because history is just a story of how the ego is saying to Allah, I am me and you are you. It's the whole history of this world. You understand? And the whole history that Allah wants us to understand is La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. May Allah accept it, inshallah, from us, our effort to know, to understand, and to understand our history, understand the world's history, those who have passed and those who are with us, to take lesson from it, so that we will be able to become obedient ones to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We cannot worship the way that Allah deserves to be worshipped, but we're asking, Ya Rabbi, make us to be with those ones who love you. Make us to be with those ones who deserve you as you deserve to be worshipped. Wa min Allahu tawfiq. Al-Fatiha. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.